All right, creators and fans alike, those who like interesting comic books and those who collect comic books, it's time for us to talk about this week's Kickstarters. And before we get to that, of course, we're going to start off each show with the last call for these Kickstarters. So this week, for the last call, we have Alter Life issue number 2 is about to end. Tits number 4. Get your hands on them today. And Shaman's Destiny. All on Kickstarter, all down to the last couple hours. Alter Life could use, we have 55 hours to get this funded. I'm really calling on all of you who are listening, who are hearing this, help us get this funded. It's a fantastic project. It's so close. You're talking about less than $700. We should be able to raise that as a community and get behind Cal. Cal is a great guy. Let's make sure that we're supporting him. The Tits is, for those who aren't aware, it's the Trans-Migrant Interdimensional Taxi Cab Service. This is issue number 4. The Sorrells are doing an awesome job in banging these out. This is the 4th one within, I believe, 6 months' time. They're doing wonderful things. The comic books are hysterical. I reviewed it. I haven't done an official review, but unofficially, I have reviewed it. We talked about it on the first episode of Spoken Sins. It's a fantastic franchise. It's something you want to get involved in. And don't worry if you haven't caught up yet and you're behind. This Kickstarter comes complete with a way to catch up in one of its rewards, where if you're a new fan, it offers all the books. So don't stress. Last but not least, in this last call section, we have Shaman's Destiny. That is funded at this point. There's no worries about that. But as always, if you have a like for it, or if you find it interesting, just because it's funded doesn't mean it doesn't need more funds. Extra funds help us creators do more, and sometimes it just makes it not cost us anything. So a lot of people don't realize that when you run a Kickstarter, sometimes you wind up going out of pocket, even if you got funded. So keep that in mind. Every dollar counts. All right. We saw the last of the Kickstarters. Now, the cool new feature about this is that every time you see one of these videos, go to Kickstarter Talk. These links will be instantly in there for this week. So that means right now, if you go on the site and go to Kickstarter Talk, as this video is going on, you will find these Kickstarters. We did that to help out with navigating. All right, moving on. We have this week's Kickstarter list, which we entitled Kickstarter is Full of Comics Not Yet at Your Local Comic Shop. Get it here first. So this week, we're going to talk about, as our featured comic, Too Good to Be True. It is by Philippe Cagno. For those who don't know who Philippe Cagno is, this might jog your memory because he has a gigantic following. He is the creator behind The Few and the Cursed. So if that name sounds familiar, this is the same creator. So Philippe has come up with this new idea of what happens when a comic book writer meets a very famous, I believe she's a model, and it's a very interesting project where fantasy becomes reality and what intermixes. It's something that can be very interesting, especially for creators. I think it's definitely something worth the effort and worth putting the time into. I don't know how self-biographical this might be for Philippe. I know he recently got married last year. Congratulations on that still, Philippe. So someone will have to ask him how much of this is based on his experiences. But the art in it is fantastic. Philippe's a great storyteller. You can't go wrong. This is why we're featuring it this week. Just looking at the art, you know it's good. The story is fantastic from what I've seen. He still needs to raise just shy of $3,000. If you guys could help out, we have 20 days to go. I don't see why we couldn't do this. He's a fantastic creator. Let's all get behind him and help fund this. Moving on, we have, now every week we're talking about autism and autism awareness. Patches to help fund autism research. Get yours today. Is still available. I have these, as a matter of fact, just so everyone knows. I not only have one for myself, but I got one for my wife as well. And it's one of those things that you buy a patch and you get to show the world that you believe in something, but on top of that, you also get to support a cause that's really important. We are getting to the point in our society where there's, I wouldn't call it an epidemic, but there's a rising increase in autism, and we all need to be aware of it. We all need to help. For those on Facebook Live right now, you get to see that there's a patch in my hand. Sorry, YouTubers, you're only getting the screenshot, but yeah, you want to support it in any way you can. It's an awesome thing, and it's a little bonus to anyone who did back the R2 build program. The donation, those who donated are now, their names are permanently on the R4 unit. How cool is that? Just go to our website, find the video, and you'll be able to see it. The video is under R4 donations, and it's also under editorials. We didn't put this particular one under the Kickstarter live because we didn't really think it was necessarily needed there. We might add it after this video, but that's where we're at with that. Drexel, issue number 1 is from Nathan Kelly. By the way, Nathan Kelly, happy birthday today. Everyone can go do something awesome for Nathan Kelly and support his project. They're funded, but as again, we have said, every dollar counts. As a matter of fact, we should just quickly talk about the creative process. The dollar, use a single dollar to help make dreams come true. This is very honest and serious, guys. If you give $1, all of us just give $1 to a project, they are $1 closer to their goal. And it goes on and it goes on. And not just that, but at the end of the day, once they're funded, it helps them actually have more backers on their list. Even $1 gets you a backer slot. You know, we all know not everyone's made of money. We know, you know, no one has billions of dollars to pour into every comic book. We get that. So there's this opportunity to support this project. And all you have to do is honestly just get, you know, a $5 digital patch or give them $1. Right here, you can make a pledge without a reward. Support them because it's very important that indie creators get supported so we can stop the reboot culture that is comic books in the mainstream. We want indie comics to not necessarily go mainstream, but definitely be taken more serious. And to be taken more serious, we need to continue to support each other on a creative level and in the indie comics level. And for any of you fans supporting indie comics, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Please continue to support us. All, you know, you're going to get the best stories here. The Walking Dead is just one of many indie project comic books that have come to life. So Marvel and DC are holding on to the cash cows, but indie comics are bringing you tomorrow's stories now. So go wish Drexel's creator Nathan Kelly a happy birthday by supporting Drexel on Kickstarter. Home number 5 with 6 days to go. Has $2,130 in the bank. It has been funded. But again, if you like the project, even if you want to support the creator, $1 matters at this point because that will boost his backers from 54 to 55 and so on and so on. And that number matters later when you try to go to a publisher or you're trying to get on Comixology. This sometimes matters more than this. So keep that in mind. How many backers you have are sometimes more important. We have 4 days left on this one. This is all part of our not last call, but right before our last call, finishing soon section. So right now these are all about to finish. So this is already funded. It's got 118 backers, but it could use more. $1 again. It matters. Brethren born. These are all wind up on the show next week for Now or Never. Staunch Ambition. Wow. Issue number 2. We're going to be doing a live special about this sometime either today or tomorrow. So stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of information about this. We have a ways to go on this one. I'm asking for support. Guys, share this. Just show up, hit the share. It's not hard. I am a backer. I don't know why that didn't show I'm a backer. I got to look at that once the video is done because I'm definitely on this. But if you haven't already backed it, and sometimes, you know, I'll say this, go back and check your Kickstarters because sometimes I notice it didn't take And I don't know why it didn't take, but just make sure you're backing it. That's the one thing I love about my list is I can go down it and make sure I'm doing it and doing this weekly. I think this isn't back because last week we were messing with it. So during the video, I might have accidentally unfollowed it and never hit the button again. But that's neither here nor there. We'll be doing a special later today about it. Stay tuned. We'll give you tons of information and tell you how you can help out with sharing it and exactly what it's about. We will have the creator behind it, Ryan Lau, to help us out and explain what's going on. Moving on. Trading cards. Okay, this is a fantastic thing. These are indie comic book titles getting their own trading cards. Now, I know a lot of you knew about the Written Sins creator cards. We were at one point going to go and make comic book covers, actually characters like they're doing, or comic book covers, but we decided once we saw this to just stop doing that. We will continue with the creator cards. However, we are stopping to make the actual comic book or character-based cards because we think they're doing a fantastic job. Honestly, get on backing it today. As you see, I'm already a backer. I was really excited about this, and I'll show you. I got the $100 one. Don't tell my wife, she'll probably be really mad, but I was really excited about it. I think it's a fantastic thing to have. I get a t-shirt too, and I love t-shirts. So trading cards, there's plenty of time on this, 57 days to go. We can definitely get this funded as a community, so let's do that. Let's get this funded. Let's see our comic book characters come to life in an indie comic book set, and then see if we can't get these cards throughout all the cons. Have them a goal in 2018, have this project in every single major Comic Con. Moving on, we added the Shogun and Spear book. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I do apologize. It's an interesting project. We just added it. It's got 20 days to go. It only needs $1,100. It's doing fantastic. But just because something's doing good doesn't mean you don't back it. Get on it, back it. Become a backer of these programs. Remember, every dollar matters. I actually have to back this project, as I'm telling everyone. That's my list to back when I get off air. Sinister issue 1, I'm sorry. We have 213. We featured this last week. This is an interesting story about brothers who get caught on an island. I've gotten to get a sneak peek of the story. I think the story is interesting. I think it's like Lord of the Rings meets voodoo and mystical horror. And I think it's a very interesting story. And I don't know why people aren't behind it. I honestly think that everyone should be behind it. I think the creators, I know the creator personally. She's a great creator. You guys gotta get active with things like this. When you see something like this and you know it's a good project, hit that share button, talk about it, help out a fellow creator. She just might not have the support system that she needs, but that's what we're here for. That's what us creators and fans are here for. We're her support system. So we can't fail her. Let's get behind her. Let's make sure she gets the support she deserves. And let's make sure we're giving her that. Moving on, monsters and other scary shit. Russell, Notley, I always get his name wrong. He's going to be on the program, Spoken Sins. He'll tell me how to say his last name finally, so I stop screwing up. I'm sorry, Russell. Names aren't my thing. This is just one of those projects that has a multiple amount. I think close to 50 creators are on it. I mean, when I type this into Written Sins, as we do, and we tag people, and to build up our database, so when you go to the search section that you can find always right here, where it says search, and you type in a name, you'll see it. And if we type in Russell Live, you'll see that this will be one of the things that pops up for him. See right there. How to build a fan base. Russell's one of the best creators. If you're not following Russell, you need to be following Russell. Russell's always talking about things that he should be charging for, and right now he's giving it all away for free. That's going to change soon. So if you're just getting into comics now, or you've been in comics for a while and you haven't broken through in a way you want to, Russell's a guy to follow and try to ask for help. He's a great guy. Support him. You don't get support of $21,000 on a $16,000 ask if you're not someone who's a great creator. And fantastic story here. Whole bunch of different creators. If you're backing this, you're backing an army of creators. So the question isn't should you back it. It's the question is, if you're into indie comics, why haven't you backed this? Seriously, there is no excuse. You're talking about getting, and you can get the PDF for only $15. And it's insane that you don't want the book, because the book is $50. And I know you're going to say, oh, that seems like it's a lot of money. Oh, 40, I'm sorry, it's $40 the book. I know you're saying, oh, that seems like a lot. Understand, this book is 200+ pages, last I heard. This is going to have glowing green eyes. So if you're not backing this, you're doing something wrong, and you must not be a fan of indie comics. I mean, that can be the only answer, because there's so many indie creators on this. And if you have backed it, you know what I mean. And if you have backed it, it's time to share it. Let's get this goal even higher. Let's get this backer level. I want to see this backer level of 500, guys. Let's see if we can get Russell to 500, okay? All right, moving on. We have SFC. This is WWE Meets Superpowers. This is an interesting book. I've gotten to read it. I was asked to review it. I found it to be interesting. I look forward to this edition. I know this is an expanded edition. They went back and I think they added some content to the version that I read, so I won't talk deeply on the version I read because it might be different. I don't know if these are exactly the same. I'm sure the underlying story I read is still there, but I think they added things to it, so I look forward to seeing it. I should be a backer of this. I'm going to make sure after this video, making me look like I don't back anything. No, I'm there. Okay, cool. Get on it. It's by SFC. WrestleMania is this weekend, so to celebrate WrestleMania, back this project. All right, moving on. Emmanuel God with Us, the comic book. This is brought to us by Scott Zambelli. Scott's a great guy. He's a great creator. He's doing this all himself. Very passionate guy. This is something, you know, if you're not into religion, I get that. Be into a creator and back the creator. Give him $1. This is his project. Support him. You know, I'm not asking you to join a religion, but if you are a religious person, I think this is a very deep and meaningful story. I think it's going to be worth reading, and I believe it's going to be all ages. This might be a good way to teach your children something about religion for those who have trouble necessarily getting to church and being able to explain religion in a way. I think Scott's going to give you something that can be a tool to teach. And kids like comic books, so look at it that way. So either way, just support the creator with $1 or support the project. Speak No Evil, issue 3. This is a fantastic little looking story that it's about two teenagers brothers who fight monsters in another dimension. We saw H.P. Lovecraft and Nikola Tesla's otherworldly experiment go horribly wrong. We follow the boys as they evaded Murphy gang and made their way to Tesla's cabin. So it's definitely an interesting idea. These are some very important characters that, not even characters, but based on human beings that we know that have influenced our life. Tesla has definitely changed the world around us, and only now are we really feeling the effects of Tesla and his creations, because they've finally started using them because they made sense. For so long, they weren't using Tesla's things because, you know, the right people hadn't invented it, and it was not something cool. But now that Tesla, unfortunately, is passed on and is no longer with us, we're starting to use everything he created. And it's sad that he didn't get to see how important it's become. From the bulbs that we use now to the cars that are being made, he really did change the world a long time ago and is only now getting the credit for it. So this might be an interesting story to see more about Tesla. And if you don't know Tesla, this could be something interesting that you could actually read and then go on to read his biographical information. But moving on, as we're a little over the 15 mark, we have Follow the Wave. Follow the Wave is a 52-page graphic novel from the Italian writer and artist Stefano Cardiesolo. I'm sorry, Stefano, about that. Stefano, I'm horrible at names. That's my bad. But the art in this is just superb. We have it at $1,871. 10 days to go, $3,500 mark to go. I am going to back this. It's on my list. We just added this last week. This was on the program last week. I must have forgotten to come back and do it. Next week's video, I promise it'll be back. Last but not least, we actually went over this already today. Last but not least, Unwritten Sins. We do a quick look at our front page. We see that the 2 Kickstarters are there. We're going to see that the splash page vote is going on. We're going to see, now that's a quick vote. So if you haven't voted, vote now. It's going to be over before you know it. We have a couple new articles. We have the R4, as always, Thunderclap, Help Sinister. We have trading cards. We have art. These are all things you'd be checking out. This is the one thing I wanted to bring up while we were live on the video. The Gary Reed Award nomination, your opportunity to support those in our creative community and their importance. Basically, Gary's one of those guys who really affected indie comics, and when he passed away last year, it left a hole in many creators that I know and personally affect them. I never had the opportunity to meet him. I was actually one of those guys I was looking forward to meeting at one point and talking to a little bit more. I think we passed a conversation just once between each other, and he seemed like a good guy, and I remember him actually offering to help me. It's very sad that we lost him. To honor him, they're going to be making an award, and the award will be handed out on May 27th at the Cherry Capital Comic Con. Basically, they're looking for people who help indie comics. If you know someone who goes out of the way, and I could Dirk Manning, you, Victor Dandridge, Russell, we just went over his stuff, and the list goes on. Martin Dunn, Ruben Romero, and I could just keep going. I won't do it because I know we're at 20 minutes, and I know we want to keep these videos to 15 minutes. But honestly, if you know someone who is just supporting indie comics day in and day out and doing what they can to help other people, just nominate them. It means a lot. Just being able to hear that people appreciate what you do, I assure you would matter to people. It matters to hear that what you're doing matters, and this is a way to tell someone that, even if they don't win the award, just knowing that someone took the time to nominate them could mean the world to them. And it's just a salute to Gary, a great guy, someone we're all going to be affected by him not being around. And it'd be nice to see people who are going to fulfill his legacy that he left behind. That's it, guys. Get out your Visa cards, get out your MasterCards, go support indie comics on Kickstarter and show the world that we don't need to see Superman rebooted, Batman rebooted. We don't need another Fantastic Four movie. What we need are more movies based on the Kickstarters we saw today. We need more indie comic trading cards. We need to see that these actual comic books get made and get taken to the next level. I personally want to see a Tits cartoon, and that's it. So with that, go out amongst thee. Go support these Kickstarters first. Alter Life issue 2, Tits number 4, Shaman's Destiny volume 1. You only have hours to go. Don't waste any time. Do not even bother checking anything else before you check that out, because time is almost up.